So, hello everyone. In the series of discussing about variables and data measurement techniques in research, we'll start with business analytics. So, in the series of these video tutorials, we'll start with business analytics. So, the entire content would be covered up in around 8 lectures. So, we'll start with the business analytics. When we talk about analytics, so we'll talk about the meaning of analytics, and when then in specific we'll discuss about types of analytics or business analytics. Here we are discussing about business analytics. We'll try to cover the entire content in 8 different lectures, but this is the basic lecture about analytics and types of business analytics. Now, when we talk about the analytics, let's talk about data, information, knowledge, and wisdom. So, what is the meaning of data? So, we need to talk about data, information, knowledge, wisdom, and then we'll connect all these concepts with the meaning of analytics. So, data is what? Data is a collection of raw facts or the set of observations. Whenever we observe something or we collect raw facts, something which has happened in the reality, so that is the raw fact or the observation. We name it as data. So when we collect the data, then we try to extract something meaningful out of it. So when data put into the context in any reference, then it is converted in the form of information. We get something meaningful insight from this data. So that is the information. And then further, if we look into this information, and this information combined with the our experience and our judgment on the basis of our past experience, then we call it as the knowledge. So data is converted to information, and then information is converted to knowledge. So basic fact or the raw fact is known as data, and it is converted to information, and the information is converted to knowledge. So we always require knowledge whenever we want to make any decisions in our real life, or any, even if we want to solve any business problem also, then we need to have some knowledge, and then we apply this knowledge. And once we apply implemented, our knowledge is we get this knowledge, information combined with the experience and judgment, then this knowledge further could be implemented. So we can see there is a triangle, or the pyramid is there. So the reverse pyramid is also workable. We can talk about the reverse triangle also, reverse pyramid also. Like, once we are having the knowledge, then we can also gather information, or we can extract the information out of the knowledge, and further then we can get some data from the information also. So stem mostly from the intellectual heritage of the humanities. This is known as the knowledge. Okay, then knowledge is presented into different forms. Knowledge can further be converted into information, and out of the information, then we can derive some meaningful insights also, or we can get some data. So derived from the information or influenced by the thought and knowledge processes is known as is the data. So we can see there are two pyramid, and both ways these knowledge, information, and data are connected. So we need to have data. From data we get information, and then information is converted to knowledge, and further this knowledge is implemented. Once it is implemented, then we call it as wisdom. So we'll talk about that in the upcoming slide. So knowledge leads to information, which determines data. Similarly, knowledge is the product of data and information. Okay, so when we talk about the real solving real life problem or the research problem, we need to collect the data and then convert into the information, and then knowledge, and then wisdom. Now let's talk about the pyramid. So we can see there is a pyramid, and there are different hierarchies. Once we are having that raw data, it means we are not having anything. It's like nothing. We don't have anything meaningful available with us. So data is the discrete or the objective facts or observation comprised of symbols and characters with no inherent meaning. Okay, then what means information? Information is a set of data that has been related to each other through context to become useful. Okay, so this is what initially when we talked about data means nothing. There is no specific format or any dimension of a data is always in raw format only. Then when we talk about information is what? It is about the context. Okay, and then third level, upper level, is the knowledge is information has been culturally understood so that it provides insight and understanding. Means how something has happened, or why is something happening. Okay, so if we talk about data, information and knowledge, all these three concepts are related to the past happening. Something has happened in the past. Okay, once we are done with the getting knowledge, knowledge is available to us, and when we apply this knowledge into a real life problem solving, or when we want to solve any business problem, then we call it as wisdom. Wisdom is about predicting future, how something is going to happen, how something may happen in the future. Why do we need to do something? Why do we need to implement something? Okay, what is the best decision? So these are the different levels of DIKS model: data, information, knowledge, and wisdom. Okay, so this is about the DIKS model. Data is the basic level, then information, then knowledge, and then wisdom. Okay, so data is collecting the parts and information is connecting the part. Initially data is collecting and information is connecting the parts. Okay, third level is formation of a whole. It is like aggregating everything, so that is the knowledge. And then joining the whole, it is the wisdom. Okay, now we can see on the screen there is an infographic. Now you can see, as we discussed in the previous slide also, there are four different levels: data followed by information, knowledge, wisdom. Data is always raw in nature. Now information is something meaningful, and knowledge is into always into it is into a specific context. Okay, and when we apply this, we call it as applied. So let's talk about this with a simple example. Let us say we are traveling by a car, by a vehicle, and on a road, and we see there is a traffic light. Okay, let us say if that signal is red, then what we'll do? See, once we notice the signal is red, so it is like a data, it is in the raw format. Okay, and now let's talk about information, how we will convert this data in the form of information. That is, we'll try to get some meaning out of this data. So like, the signal is red, the light is in the red color, but let us talk about the how we can convert this into information. For example, south facing light on the corner of XYZ mall or any building has turned red. So let's say if I am traveling and I am seeing a south facing light has turned red, or it is ahead of me on while traveling on a road at the traffic signal, and I see that the light has turned red, it means I am able to see that light. Okay, so it means I am getting something meaning, the red light has turned and I am looking at that right that red light. Okay, now knowledge is how we will get the knowledge out of this information. See, if I am able to see that the light has turned red, the traffic light I am headed towards has turned red, it means it means that that light is conveying some information or some knowledge to me. Okay, then what I will do? So once I am available with this knowledge, then I will apply this knowledge to make a decision. Okay, so that knowledge is converted to wisdom. It means I am applying it. So what I will do? I will stop my vehicle. So this is how data, information, knowledge and wisdom, all these four concepts are connected. Now, why we were discussing about this DIKS model, data, information, knowledge, and wisdom, DIKW model. Okay, so we're talking about this because in analytics, we want to analyze something, and we need to have some information, we need to have some knowledge. Okay, knowledge and wisdom are more of theoretical in nature. Okay, we can apply that, but uh, data and information are generally in quantitative format, we can measure them. Okay, so for example, let's talk about a business scenario, and companies are having these days, all or most of the companies into production, manufacturing, sales and marketing activities have some online transactions also. Most of the companies are doing these types of transaction. So companies gather some data about online transaction processing. Okay, and they want to apply that information, or they want to um, um, improve their business or the profitability. Then what information they required, like they, or what type of decision they need to make. Maybe like they are interested to add some new product line to attract more customers, more consumers, or maybe like changing the product price. Okay, so these are the examples of the factors related to product database. Then let us say company is looking forward to change the advertising pattern. What type of traditional advertising, print, broadcast, outdoor, or like if we talk about broadcast, let us say that they are looking forward to increase the radio advertising. Okay, so this is about advertising database. And third could be like, for example, customer demographic database, which may increase which may involve increase customer credit limit, also the transaction limit. Okay, suppose customers may be doing transaction by credit card also. Okay, or change customer salary level, because if let us say if the income of the individual is changing, improving, or the customers income is improving, increasing, then definitely this will increase the purchase capacity of the individual also. Okay, so on the left side of the screen you can see there are three categories: product database, advertising database, customer demographic database. So these different types of information company can utilize with the help of a virtual database, a virtual warehouse, so called data warehouse. And then company can a organization can get the meaningful information out of this, which is known as the business intelligence. So this is the role of analytics. So with the help of the analytics we get some conclusion, or in the form of business intelligence, and we can make some decisions like change in revenue due to the product line or the price. Or let us say if the uh, customers have increased, then company can also look into the reason, the increase in customer, maybe due to the radio budget increase. Okay, or maybe like the change in the customer profile, because if the income changes, the consumption pattern or the purchase pattern also changes. So the customer profile changes may support a high price product also. Okay, so these are the different types of analytics or the insight that we can get out of the information. Now, when we talk about the analytics, so analytics could be easily defined in terms of 5W and 2H method. Okay, this method has been discussed by so many people and so many authors also, and very popular method to solve any problem. 5W and 2H method. We are relating this method with analytics. So 5W 2H means first is why. Okay, then second W is when, third is where. Okay, and fourth is whom, and fifth is what. So these are the 5W, and 2H means how and how much. Okay, so let's talk about these seven components quickly. So first is who. So who means this question seeks to identify the people or entities involved. Second is what refers to the specific details and facts about the problem. Third is when means when deal with the timing and scheduling aspect. Okay, fourth is where focuses the location or the place where something has happened. Then fifth is why is about the reasons or the causes. Okay, reasons or the causes behind the situation, reason or the causes about the behind the situation why something has happened. And sixth is how seeks to understand the methods and processes involved. Okay, how something will happen, it is more about the process. Seventh is how much, it is about quantifying. So this question is concerned with the quantity, scale, or measurement. So this is about 5W and 2H method. So this will help us. So when we are talking about analytics means discussing about these seven factors, 5W and 2H. Okay. Then let's talk about a chart. We can see on the screen there are two variables. On the x-axis you have business value and complexity. So business value and complexity, how we can relate them. So we can see initially what happened, or it is like reporting what has happened something. So business value is low, it is the significance of this is very much, yeah, very low in term of business value. Okay, and complexity is also very low. So next level is why did it happen. So this is, in fact, this is relevant to us also. So why did it happens means deductive analysis. Okay, we are behaving like a detective, we are trying to analyze, okay, why something has happened. And we can see the business value has increased and the complexity of this factor has also increased. So this is known as detective analysis. Now third one is, if we go little more higher, then we'll see what's happening now. It is like in reality, in real time, what is happening at the present. So we can analyze this with the help of dashboard. There are so many dashboard related software also, Power BI, Tableau, these are so many. And there are lot many others, other dashboard applications also. So this help us to understand what is happening, what is the real time scenario. So we can see the business value has also increased and the complexity has also increased. Now let's move further, we'll talk about predictive analytics. So what is this predictive? What is likely to happen? Okay, we are trying to predict the future. Now we can see the business value has also increased, it is high, and complexity is also a little bit high. And the finally fifth point is what can happen given the behavior of the community. So this is more related to big data. Okay, so in this case, we'll try to apply our wisdom, we'll try to implement whatever the data we have available with us, and we'll try to implement that for future decision making. Now, as we discussed in the previous slide, so we could notice that there were four different important types of data analytics. So first is descriptive, what happened. Second is diagnostic, why did it happen? It is like finding diagnosis. It is like analyzing why something has happened. For example, a patient visit to a doctor, and doctor applies same thing. Doctor try to find out what are the reasons of any disease, or any patient having any problem, why something has happened. So this is diagnostic analytic. Third is predictive, what will happen given the scenario, what is happening at the that present time. We can will try to predict what could happen if some same things continues, same thing keeps on going, what is going to happen in the future. And on the basis of these three different factors, descriptive, diagnostic, predictive, then fourth is prescriptive. Okay, let's again talk about the example of the doctor and the patient. So seeing the medical history of the patient and talking with the past happenings, past experience of the patient, doctor try to give some prescription. So same thing, it is like prescriptive. So how can we make it happen? Okay, how can we make it happen? How can we make it happen in favor of us, or like to solve any problem, something is happening, and how we can solve that problem. So these are the four different levels of or types of data analytics. Okay, these are widely implemented in the business analytics. All right. Now let's talk some more, get into some more details. So there are different levels. In the previous slides, we talked about past trends, why something has happened. So that is about descriptive analytics. Causes is about diagnostic analytics, and prediction is about predictive analytics. Okay. Fourth is prescriptive analytics. Okay. Best course of action. What is the best remedy? What should we do? So these are the different four business insights we can get with the help of analytics or business analytics in specific. Okay, and this level indicates the maturity or the analytical methods. Okay, these four methods: descriptive, diagnostic, predictive, and prescriptive. Okay, so again, this is summarized for your convenience with some examples. For example, monthly revenue. Okay, monthly revenue gives us a descriptive analytics. Okay, what has happened? And if we talk about, we have online business on online website, we are involved into e-commerce, or doing our business through any mobile app or any website, and we want to study the website traffic. Okay, how much people are visiting our website, how much people are doing online transactions. So this is diagnostic analytics. Okay, okay. Third is predictive analytics, what will happen. So example could be like sales forecast, we want to predict the future sales on the basis of past sales. Okay, or any other factors also, variables also. Fourth is prescriptive analytics, what should we do. Okay, what best course of action is available to us. Okay, for example, inventory optimization, and none of the company would like to put money into keeping a lot much of stock. Okay, for example, companies are involved into production or the sales marketing business, or of goods and services, so they may not be interested to put a lot of money in keeping the stocks, so they want to optimize the inventory. Okay, so this could be achieved with the help of prescriptive analytics. So these are the four types of business analytics, and we have talked about the examples how we can apply them in real in solving real business problem. So there are again four different these four analytics that we had already discussed in the detail. For your convenience, I had mentioned some more additional content examples. Okay, for the first descriptive analytics, we'll quickly talk about some examples also. Let's for example, have the number of views gone up. For example, we are having a website, we want to study the number of the views, or the sales, we want to study the sales in any specific month, like are sales stronger this month than the last, we want to compare. Okay, so descriptive analytics helps helps answer questions about what has happened. Okay, and let's talk about one more example. An example would be finding out the percentage of the lead that we could not convert, and the potential amount of the business that we lost due to this is a example of online business. Okay, we are doing some online business, and we want to study how much customers we are able to convert. So this descriptive analytics helps us to gain insight from historical data with reporting scorecards, clustering, etc. Okay, let's move further. Now, second one is diagnostic analytics, so it focuses more on why something has happened. Okay, example maybe could maybe like did the weather affected ice cream sales? Everybody loves, most of people love ice cream, so is there any relation of the weather? We want to study this. Let's talk about one more example, the impact of the latest marketing campaign on the sales of any organization is, let's say any organization is putting money on specific some new advertising campaign or marketing campaign, and they want to study the impact of that campaign on the sales. So this is an example of diagnostic analytics. Okay, so this helps us to helps answer questions about why things happen. Okay, now let's talk about predictive analytics. So for example, what happened to the sales last time we had a hot summer? Maybe we want to study the impact of the weather on the sales, or how many weather model predict a hot summer this year. Okay, so example of predictive analysis, let's talk about one more example, could be calculating the expected sales figure for upcoming fiscal year. Okay, if we want to predict what could be the possible sales, so this is majorly used to set up expectation and follow proper processes and measures to meet those expectation. Okay, so this employs predictive modeling using statistical and machine learning techniques also. Now fourth one is prescriptive analytics. This suggests a best course of action. Okay, what need to be done? For example, let's say plan A fails, then they don't have any resources to execute any. We are talking about a company, a businesses multiple solution, uh, as it gives business a multiple solution to their problem with their possible effectiveness. Okay, so this is about the prescriptive analytics. So let's talk about a company, and uh, let's say if a plan A fails, then they don't have resources to execute it. Okay, then they would still have plan B or plan C in hand. Okay, so this is about the best possible course of action. So this is about the predictive analytics. Now there are a couple of more types of analytics. We can talk about cognitive analytics also, or the real time analytics also. These are largely covered in the big data analytics. So when we talk about basic analytics or business analytics, generally four types of analytics are considered: descriptive analytics, diagnostic analytics, predictive analytics, and prescriptive analytics. So we talked about these types of analytics, and I hope this lecture was useful. Thank you so much. Thank you.